Hey everybody, this is Shelly, your mouthy mama at Talking Trash Intrudes. Today is Friday, December 30th, 2022. It is around noon, and I am still extremely sick. So my voice is shot. I keep coughing, but we'll see how it goes. I didn't want any more time to go past without posting a podcast. It's been days, and it's too easy for me to slip into that place where I start posting like once a week instead of once a day. And that's not going to do me any good. You guys pushing me to do videos and stuff, to do more podcasts. It gets me out of bed every day. It gets me going. It makes my mind work. Somehow I thought today was Thursday. So I kind of have one of those blackout, drunk, missing days, like somewhere in the middle of the week. I'm missing a day. Granted, I get the blackout drunk without the drunk part because I'm not allowed to drink. For all the the medicines that I'm on. Yeah. No, the medicines that I take. Um, I have to stop saying. It's almost like I want to electroshock myself every time I say it because it's really irritating. I was going to do a video on Jordan Peterson. I had it pretty much done. It just had a couple things that I wanted to tweak and then I was going to be ready to go. And I wound up deleting it because I listened to it and I was like, what were you thinking? And of course, stupid because I should usually go with my first instinct, but it's too late now. It's gone. It was a clip of him saying that people come up to him all the time and they unload these stories on him of just horrible injustices that were done to them, and traumas and violence and very personal, vivid, excruciating stories. And they tell him, we hate to tell you all this, but we made it through. I made it through. I made it. I survived. I overcame it because of you. And he tells how that's the most amazing, beautiful thing that anyone can give to him, but it's also unbearable. It's an unbearable burden that he signed up for. One that he embraces wholeheartedly, and one that he would never give away. He would never undo it. No matter how many times he has to live this life, he would still want to be there for people in that capacity, to that extent. Sorry, I'm very not thirsty, but my throat really hurts. So talking isn't exactly. I'm trying to lube up my throat. It's new for me. Normally, my throat is my asset. Today, it's my downfall. I'm really tired. Guys, I don't know. Christmas kicked my ass and we didn't do anything. It took me days to recover. I had no energy. I was in constant pain. Everything was swollen. I mean, right now, granted, my feet are so swollen, it feels like I'm wearing boots, and I'm not. I'm barefoot. But it's what happens when I have to sit up and talk. My feet swell up within 5 minutes. They're like giant balloons. I hate it. Anyway, Jordan Peterson is a balm for many, many people. Um, I find a lot of wisdom in the things that he says. Is he right about everything? Probably not. Nobody is. But he has this take that smacks of divine inspiration. It really does. Because there's things that he says that apply to so many different parts of my life, radically different parts. And yet, one statement settles so much of them. Like he talks about, oh God, what was the thing he talked about the other day? I don't know, but about women focusing inward instead of focusing on family and their husband and their kids because they've chosen a different path. And now their gaze is focused inward. And that's when they start, with the depression and the anxiety and the identity crisis because they don't know where they belong since they've removed themselves from the traditional role a woman played for thousands of years. It's not like the 1950s was a blur. It's not like it was an anomaly. Women have been, wives and mothers forever. That's what we do. And now to turn around and to say no, you're built for more than that. Actually, we're built for exactly that. We're built to carry the babies. We're built for nurturing. We think emotionally while men think, well, more analytically, factually, whatever. But they're more problem oriented and solution oriented. Whereas how are you feeling? Like we're the psychologists of every family. We're the priest. We're the ones that everybody comes to unburden their soul, to confess their sins, for advice, for wisdom, for love, for, any type of comfort that they can find. And we've deviated, we've moved away from that. And now it's all about, but what about me? Like I deserve that. All I ever wanted was to be a wife and mother. I got to be the mother, but then I got to also be the father and the husband and everything else to myself. And that was not what I wanted. I wasn't prepared for that. I've dealt with it because I'm resilient, I'm resourceful, and I'm not a quitter. I'm very responsible. If I do something, I will fully embrace the consequences. And I'll never back down from saying I did something. The whole shit with school, with me saying the thing about the teacher. When the assistant superintendent said, well, I heard that you said, no, I said it. No, but you don't understand. They said that you said, I said, I hope she falls and breaks her face. That's what I said. And she looked at me like I was stupid. She said, you admit that? Yeah, absolutely. I said it. Oh, I thought you would lie to me. Why would I lie to you? I said it. I'll say it again. I'll say it to her face. I don't give a shit. It ain't that big a fucking deal. It's not like I said, oh, I want to SHOOT you in the head. I would never do that. I said, I hope you fall and break your face. And I wouldn't have said it if she wasn't such a little bitch running away from me when she knows I can't chase her. I had a fucking knee brace on from my ankle to my hip, and I'm going to chase this skinny little ditz? Please stop. I can't deal with people's stupidity. That was stupid. Oh my God. The melodrama. She scared me. Oh. I scared you? If I punched you in the face, then I could see, oh yeah, now I scare you. But I never did nothing to this woman. She used to cry and oh Christ, what's the matter? And I'd sit there and listen to her fucking blabber on and on. I didn't even like her, and I still listened to her. So, I mean, Jordan Peterson, I know, I get it. I get that people just go, oh, here, and throw it all on you. For me, that works. That's my purpose. I want to be there for other people. I want to take care of other people. The only, I guess, failing there is that I have nobody to take care of me. And I'm tired. I can't expect my kids to take care of me. They're too young and they're too challenged on their own. I'm worried, about them more than I'm worried about me. But it would be nice. It would be nice to be taken care of just for a little while. Just once. I've never had that. Never. It's sad. But in me not getting that, I realize and I appreciate the importance of being taken care of and taking care of others. And that makes me have a lot more patience and a lot more willingness to put forth an effort for someone else, someone I don't know. I mean, that's what I've been doing. I've been putting forth effort on behalf of other people. I have been getting up and doing this podcast, not just for me, but for other people. It originally started for me, and that felt kind of empty. And it was a struggle every day to get up and, oh, what am I going to talk about today? Because it felt like I was being selfish and I was just putting myself out there for me. And then the comments started, and I started seeing how people were, saying the same thing over and over. I love your stories. I love listening to you. This channel, there's so much here that, reminds me of me. And you've gotten through so much, and it's really inspiring. And, I want to get through it, and I'm going through this, and I've been through that. And they share their stories. They share their woes. They share their hardships. And I love it. I am not a professional advice giver. I cannot give you medical or legal or psychological, any kind of advice. I can tell you to get help if you need it. I can be there to listen. I love being there for you guys. I really do. I love that you reach out and you say, hey, I'm having a hard time. I don't mean to ask, but when is your next live stream? Because I kind of want to be a part of, the chat, and I want to, hang out with you guys. And more likely than not, when you say that, I'm going to say, okay, I'll do a live stream later, because if you want to talk, we'll talk. If you want to, sit back and just be entertained, I can arrange that too. It depends on what you need and what I'm able to do. If I'm able to do it, I will provide it. If I'm not, I'll direct you to somebody who can. I got no problem saying, hey, if you're, like political, go see Cool Frog. KOOLFROGG. He's a YouTuber. He's also on Rumble and Locals. Or if you're into like gaming and stuff, I could say go to Geeks and Gamers or go to Jessica Reloaded. If you're into like legal commentary with a really, really big attitude and like free speech and everything, and somebody who's going to like make you laugh, but also make you go, then go see Nick Rekieta. We all have our purposes. We all cover things. Emily D. Baker, she covers the legal side of things, but with a gentler, more girlfriendy kind of, it's like going to watch something with your best friend and you two just shit talk the whole time, but in the nicest way possible. She doesn't put anybody down, but she'll be the first one to call you out if you're being a dipshit. Like, and she does not allow like any of her law nerds um to act untoward when it comes to other people. She wants you to be kind, and I'm down with that. I want you to be kind too. I mean, there are so many places out there where you can find help if you're not, like getting what you need from me. There's so much out there. And I didn't know that. To me, I mean, no matter how much I've traveled, my world was always really small. I kept my world small because what mattered was my immediate community. And then that community got taken away from me. Well, I got plucked out of that community. So it wound up that, you know, I was replaceable, easily replaceable. Um, and that's what they did. Not the people, but the admins. And that broke my heart. So when I came to YouTube, I came here because I was stuck at home. I was sick. Uh, I was very depressed. My aunt had just passed away, and I didn't know that I had a neurological condition. So I just thought I was just severely depressed. I didn't know that it was, there were several contributing factors. And it wasn't just me being crazy. I just thought I was crazy. I mean, that's what they've told me my whole life. So why wouldn't I believe that? It turns out I wasn't all that crazy. It turns out my body is turning on me. So when I stumbled upon YouTube, I stumbled upon Tug first. And that's because there were so many damn videos that were just popping up to Tug, 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 Amber Heard, Johnny Depp, Amber Heard. I was like, Jesus. And it was just so much. And the very first one I listened to, he was like, hey there, all you fine folks on this fine day. I hope you are doing excellently. I love me some Tug. I love me some Tug. When I am at my absolute lowest and every nerve I have is frayed, Tug, he has that way about him where he's such a gentle, humorous, like he's funny, but he's just this gentle, you know, good old boy. He's the guy you want to be the neighbor you grow up next to, your whole life. He's that guy that you want to run into when you're going to go fishing. And you're like, hey, come with me, spend the day with me. Let's go fishing. Let's just sit and bullshit. And you drink some beers by the side of a stream or something. And there were days where I wouldn't talk to anybody and I would just play video after video. And I didn't know shit about live because I didn't see them. They weren't popping up in my feed. And then I started like looking and I was like, oh, live, what is that? And when I clicked on it, I realized, oh my God, he's live now. Like this is actual real time. And I started listening, and between the cadence of his and the softness of his voice, the pitch, and what he was talking about, I felt like he was in the room with me, like he was talking to me, like I wasn't so alone. And that feeling became addictive. And I started with just sampling everybody's live streams. Like I would just keep it on live all the time. And this one went live. Let me see what they're doing. This one. And I learned what I liked, what I didn't like, what was out there, what shouldn't be out there. And I realized that there's this whole community out there that they're dedicated not just to each other, because they are in many ways, but they're dedicated to actually telling people the truth. The truth is a huge thing for me. And they were telling everybody the emotional truth, the factual truth, and the truth nobody wanted them to say. And the more I listened, the more I was like, oh my God, what have I been doing? Why did I let these people convince me of these things? Why did I just blindly believe? And then I started with the trial. And that brought me to Emily D. Baker. Emily D. Baker brought me to Joe Neerman and them. And then, well, to Lone Lumber and to Joe Neerman and like the whole set of people, DUI guy. And that brought me to finally Nick Rekieta. The very first time I encountered Nick Rekieta was watching reactions to the deposition where they mentioned Tug and the real Laura B and all that, and I was just like, oh my god, like Adam Waldman, he just mentioned that umbrella guy, like, and I was blown away, and I remember watching the reactions, and Nick had like, he didn't have like this huge reaction, but he was just like, oh, like, I think it was him and Legal Mindset. I think they were on the same stream. It was Nick's channel, but I think Legal Mindset was there with him, and there was one other person. But I laughed because their reactions were so like, oh, like, and I didn't realize that Nick knew Tug as well as he did. I knew Yellow Flash did, and then I heard like Tug talking about Nick and whatever, and then he jumped on one of Nick's streams, and I followed, and here's this dude, this like not really like somebody that would stand out to me, except now like he's Nick, he's just bigger than life. But then he was just another guy because I didn't get anything out of him. I didn't hear anything that I liked because I wasn't listening. I didn't know he existed. And within half an hour of listening to him, I was like, oh my God, like, where has this man been all my life? Like, why were you not around when I was a teenager? And like, where were you? Like, I could use these pearls of wisdom from you. And whereas, like Tug, I found an emotional anchor when I needed it most. Emily, I found a sisterhood kind of where I needed it most. But I needed that cool sister who, said fuck a lot and had a real honest take on things and didn't put on airs. I want nothing but the best for Emily. I know she had a hard time, and I know she's been through it physically, and she's got a lot going on in her family life, and she's an excellent wife and mother. She's an excellent woman. And she's a great friend to have. Even if it's just on the internet, she has more kindness to give on the internet than most people do face to face. Like, she's just that person. I adore her for that. And I love when she drinks whiskey and totally goes after Lone Lumber, because Rob just turns so purple. It's ridiculous. It's just hilarious. It's great. She's one of the guys, but she's always a girl, but she takes no shit. Love Emily. So, yeah. So it was, I had like, I don't know, I was drawn to LawTube. I liked the cleanliness of it. Like, it wasn't, nothing they said was based in emotion. Yes, there was emotion that was conveyed during trials and whatever, but everything that they talked about was, factual. It was law based. It was something that I could look at and go, oh, okay, that's clinical. But I needed that because you had this high emotion from the trial, and then it gets broken down in this clinical way, and it's so much easier to digest in these little bits that these lawyers are explaining and giving to you. And Nick is really good at that. Nick is good at taking these trials and going, hey, apply this to real life, because you shouldn't be doing this. You should be free. You should say what you want. This is ridiculous. This law shouldn't exist. And he's very opinionated. Nick has 12 opinions on every single thing in the world, and I want to hear every one of them. Lady Gaga sings a song where she says, how does it go? Oh God, why is it I remember lyrics every second of the day except when I want to? All of your words are like poems to me. And as sad as and pathetic and simpy as that sounds, that's Nick for me. Because he's given advice, but not given advice. Like he's told stories that have changed my life. I'll give you that. I homeschool my son. We have an odd schedule, but it works for us because neither one of us have ever been good on other people's schedules. Getting up and down at a certain time, it causes such anxiety for him. It's ridiculous. Same for me. So we don't worry about a clock right now. I'm on disability. We don't know what's going to happen with me. I don't know if I have tomorrow. I don't know if I have a month. I don't know if I have 10 years because the doctors don't fucking know. One doctor tells me I got a little while left. Another one tells me I'm fine. I'm not fine, but I don't know that I only have a little while left. Some days I wonder if I'm going to die in the next 5 minutes because it's that bad. You know, this week has been that kind of week. So I'm a little emotionally strung out because I've been real scared. But I'm here. You know, I'm better. My voice is shit. It feels like I swallowed glass, but you know, whatever. I keep sneezing in this. Jesus, please not now. I sneeze so hard and so loud that I scare the shit out of the cats. And it's in my nose right now. God, don't you hate when the sneeze is like right there and your eyes get all watery and little and then you don't sneeze and it's so aggravating. Shit happens though. Anyway, I just wanted to put a little something out there and tell you guys that there's inspiration all around us. You just have to want to find it. You know, I wasn't looking for somebody to save me. I was just looking for a way to pass the time. And I wound up meeting amazing people because I was open to anything. You know, nothing was off the table. You know, there was nobody that I wouldn't listen to. I'd listen to reactions, I'd listen to hot takes, I'd listen to parodies, anything that was out there until I found where I was most comfortable, till I found what felt like my kind of people. And that had no ethnicity, it had no color. What it had was heart. And I wanted to find people who shared my heart, who had hearts like mine, who had values like mine and ethics, and who had balls and who weren't going to just take it laying down. I needed fighters. I have always been a fighter. You know, fight or flight. I do both. Usually I fight, then I flee. But I needed people who knew how to stand up for themselves and who would inspire me to stand up for myself. And I found that. I found that in Tug and Emily and Nick Rekieta and Joe Neerman, Good Logic. And those were my main ones that I went to. And then I had, you know, I got scooped up by Cool Frog and then his whole community. And I got, you know, like Winning Reality and Jessica Reloaded and Divinity Said and, you know, like The Expert and America Shirts, all these people. And of course, my Darth Hideous. I would never forget my Darth Hideous. But all these people who were so accepting and eager to, like, you know, continue conversations and see where it would go. I never thought I would have that because I lost it when I left the school that I was in. I didn't think I would ever have that again. And I found it here and it's amazing. every day I make podcasts for you. I'm excited to, I don't know, interact with you and meet you and help you and hear your stories, and just you telling me your worries and your problems doesn't just help you, it helps me. It helps me be useful when I feel absolutely useless. It helps me realize that I'm not alone either. You know, I'm worried about all the people in the world, and I always forget that I'm one of them. I need to worry about me too. I need to take care of myself. I missed out on somebody else taking care of me. You know, I didn't have parents that, you know, did the parenting thing. I had grandma. And even that was, you know, the warmth wasn't exactly above room temperature, you know, like it was. I know she loved me. I know I made her happier than, you know, I made her aggravated. But it wasn't what I needed. You know, I got denied what I needed. And that's always going to leave a gaping hole in my existence, because when you don't get that love returned as a child, you assume you're not worth it. And then when you're told you're not worth it, well, that just reaffirms the fact that you're a piece of garbage. You know, Nick always tells the guys, you know, he's like, hey, you know, dudes out there, in case nobody told you today, you are not a piece of shit. Well, I wish somebody would stand up and say that to the rest of us. I feel terrible for men who have nobody to talk to. I feel terrible for men who are told to suck it up, move on. Like, they're allowed to have feelings. We tell them that they're not allowed to feel this, feel that. They have to be a man. You got to be strong. You got to be this. But then we also turn around and say, you know, you're just not emotional enough for me. Like, you're insensitive. Why are you always so, like, matter of fact? You just told him to be. You've been telling him his whole life to suck it up. Then when he sucks it up, you're like, oh, it's like you have no feelings. No, he's got tons of feelings. You spent your, you know, like, well, he spent his whole life being told to bury them. Keep it to yourself. Nobody cares. That's not true. There are people who care. I care. I care more than I should. I definitely care more than is healthy. But I really wish somebody would turn around and said to me what Nick says to all the guys out there. You are not a piece of shit. I am not a piece of shit. I have value. I know my value to a point. There's still those little voices telling me that I'm worthless, that they just don't go away. They sound remarkably like the members of my family and a couple of my exes, but whatever. I know they're wrong. They're wrong about me. They're wrong about you. And we're going to show them just how wrong they were. My throat is absolutely raw now. And if I'm going to stream tonight with Jess or with Cool Frog, then I really need to go make some tea and lay down for a little bit. Or I'm going to have no voice tonight, which I'm sure would thrill my children, but not so much the people who want their tarot cards read. So I will see you guys hopefully later on. If you like the content, please do the YouTube things. Hit like and subscribe. Leave some comments. I would love to talk to you guys, to hear from you. And I'm sorry I haven't been around this week. It's been really rough. I don't know what this weekend's going to look like. New Year's Eve was when Grandma passed away. And New Year's Day is Daddy's birthday. So I don't know what shape I'm going to be in. But we shall see. And if anything, I have all of you to fall back on. I love you very much. Thank you so much for visiting my channel, for listening to my words, and for talking to me and interacting. I love it. It makes me really, really happy. So more of that, please. More of that. And I will see you guys in the funny papers. I'll definitely do another podcast before the new year. All right. So I love you. Take care. Be careful out there. Lots of crazy things going on and lots of crazy weather. So I will see you. Bye.